it's Destiny.
And Sierra.
And welcome back to Blended the Podcast. Today, we're going to be sharing with you guys a little bit about the not so fun part of starting your business.
Yeah.
And that is all the technicalities.
Yes.
So you're ready to start a business. Now what? How can you set yourself up to have everything in place and be legit and ready not only to organize yourself, but to even prepare yourself for tax season? It's here. It's approaching. It's the reality. You've got two views here. I'm a little street smart. Sierra's very, very book smart. Business degree, summa cum laude. Did I say it right?
Magna
cum laude. Dang it! I told y'all. I'm not the college degree girl, but that's okay. Because guess what? We're both successful.
Throw down real fast, and I'm like, jail.
That's not okay. So we're going to share with you guys probably mainly the mistakes I made. When I first started out with my business and I went on my own, I was in a salon suite. And I remember them telling me like, oh, you're in a salon suite, so you don't have to have an LLC, or like your business doesn't have to be classified in its own way, which is true, but it probably wasn't the best choice for me to do because I legit was not separating anything. Like everything I was doing was being put into my personal account.
Every time we talk about this, I get anxiety.
And I was just like, oh, I need this much money. I'm going to grab it out. It was just not really good. And I wish that I knew the information that I knew now, even like not knowing what booking process to use or how to keep track of my income or how to keep track of my expenses. Like all of those little things that I wish I would have known so that on paper, like I looked more legit, because it really bit me in the butt. Because a couple years ago when I told my CPA I'm interested in buying a house in the next 5 years, it really set me back because my first couple of years in business, I didn't have things situated the way that I should have.
Yeah. Well, and then that's all part of planning. So you have to know your plan if you're going to buy a house or if you want to make a property investment or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm making any major purchase really, then you need to set up your finances.
Yeah. So like if someone came to you right now and was like, okay, Sierra, I've been working for a company and I'm ready to start my own business. What is the first step that I should do?
I would say if you're going into business for yourself, you should always set up an LLC.
LLC.
Always. Because it's going to limit your liability. That's what LLC stands for. But it's just going to protect you and make sure that if something does happen, especially because, when we're first starting out in business, that's when all of the terrible things happen anyways. So that's when
the mistakes and
So that's when you're the most likely to mess up. And that's when someone will come after you. However, I have learned like through school that most likely people won't sue you if you're just starting out and they know that, because they know they can't get anything out of you.
Yeah.
Like financially, they're not looking at you for that, but still you want to protect yourself from the very beginning. And then after you start your LLC, you will then be able to have an EIN number. That EIN number is basically like your social security number for your business. So then you're going to take that and you're going to open a business bank account. And then that's where that could help you a lot, like where you first started, where you were kind of mixing and mingling all of your finances.
I was going to say too, it also like bit me in the butt because now when people are like, how long have you been in business? It's not necessarily like, when did I start my business?
Yeah.
Which was in 2018.
It's when have you been
It's like, when did you like start your LLC? Which wasn't until like 2020. So I had like 2 years that don't really count.
Yeah. So on paper, it looks like we're the same.
Right.
And we're definitely
being
not.
in business.
Yeah.
Right. So what if someone like isn't an LLC, they're a 1099 contractor?
And you don't need an LLC.
What would you have them do for that?
I think if you're a 1099, I started off as a W-2 employee and then I went into 1099, which the W-2 employee helped me a lot because I was paying taxes. So at the end of the year, it like helped and I didn't really have to track a whole bunch of it. When I went into 1099, it was just more so like really setting systems in place. I had just my personal bank account. I didn't really have to have like a business bank account yet.
But did you have a separate account?
Yes. I had a separate account, but they were still like personal accounts.
Right.
So you didn't have to have like an EIN number.
And I didn't even do that at all.
Oh my goodness, girl.
But I didn't know.
You are giving me so much anxiety.
I didn't know.
Right now. I know. But it's crazy because I think that like everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing now through talking to you and conversations with these other people that like they don't.
Right.
And that's what really scares me because at the end of the year, it all comes back to bite you in the butt. And it's so freaking stressful.
Yeah.
And No. Anyways, I had a personal bank account and then I had another personal bank account. And so what I would do is allocate the money that I was being paid by these 1099 companies to that bank account. And then any expenses that I had that helped me, say like I was working as a makeup artist for a makeup company. I was a 1099 employee. Any makeup I bought, any hairstyling products I bought when I was working, anything like that, and my gas for travel, things like that, like car expenses, all of that all went on that card.
Yeah.
And then that way at the end of the year, I could just go through all of my statements and keep it together. And I also used apps to help me. Some of the resources that I prefer to use are QuickBooks. QuickBooks is an app that can help you track your mileage if you drive a lot for work. There's a rules tool that you can put in, and every single time something comes out of your account, you can set a rule that like, this is always a business expense.
Yeah.
Or this is always an income. Like this form of payment is income, because, you know, with like the world we're in now, like people Venmo each other for pizza and stuff like that. And so you would have to go through those, but you wouldn't have to go through the other things.
Speaking of Venmo, this is a mistake I recently made by not having a business Venmo, because I honestly don't use Venmo a lot, but I've had like one or two clients here or there. And when I then connected my Venmo to my QuickBooks, it was like putting in all my personal stuff. And like me and my bookkeeper have spent hours going through and taking out the personal Venmo transactions versus the business. I thought I learned my lesson, but then like I also just learned again, you really got to keep everything separate, because it not only does it make it easier for you because you're not spending that time having to go through and organize, but also, God forbid, you did get audited by the IRS. Even if what you're doing isn't sketchy, like what I was doing was not sketchy, but it definitely can eliminate the opportunity for it to look sketchy, you know, especially if like you're a makeup artist and you're like buying makeup at like Target. If it's like on your personal, it could be like, well, how do I know that that's actually makeup and it's not
like a couch?
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
But you know I'm a right off a couch.
We literally talked about like the couch we're on the podcast video. And we were like, this would be something you would do. Like when we open up our big studio or whatever, we were like, I'm going to come in one day and I'm going to look at Destiny and she's going to be pulling in some couch from Target. And I'm going to be like, what are you doing? And she's going to be like, it's the write-off. And like, honestly, in that like case, it is.
Creek, like
yes,
Schitt's Creek.
Yes. And I know you guys have totally seen that.
It's a write-off.
The write-off people. But yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I definitely think that keeping everything organized and in place really, really helps. Another way that I track that is by using Square. Destiny also uses Square. We use Square differently though, which is really what's cool about that particular payment processing system. So I have a booking system that I use, and that booking system uses Stripe to take payments. That's another form of payment processing. And that one's usually like based online. So if you have an online business or anything like that, a lot of people will use Stripe, and they work a lot with website developers and things like that. And it's really, really simple and easy to set up. So I know at the end of the year, when I want to see how much money I've paid out in transaction fees and things like that, Stripe has a section where they already calculated all of it. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And then they also have like, this is all your income from the year and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I know Square has that as well.
Yeah, I love utilizing Square because like it'll even show you like pie charts. I'm like super visual, or like graphs where it'll be January last year and then January this year. So you can visually see like if you did better. I just saw that. And then like even, okay, this was my January, this is my February, this is my March. And then it'll even break it down like per service. Like mine is like one row move ups. Yeah. You did this much.
And
like,
it shocks you when you really find out.
You did this much. So you can even see what services are doing better than others.
Is that why? So do you remember, it was about a year ago, you came to me and you were like, Sierra, I make the least money on Saturday.
Yes. That's how Square? I found. Yeah. That's how I figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was adjusting my schedule to not work on Saturdays, I'm like, why am I over here stressing out about Saturdays? And that's legit the day that I make like the least amount of money. I love it because I can see a pattern of when my slow months are.
Yeah.
So let's say June are my slow months. I'd be like, okay, I know I want to take my week-long vacation during that.
I knew you were going to talk about a freaking vacation. This girl.
Oh my gosh. So it's a great resource to utilize that. I don't use Square for inventory because I don't have a bunch of like retail stuff.
Yeah.
But you can even, utilize Square for inventory, or it can tell you how much are your sales, even keeping track of that. Like that was something I didn't do in the beginning, was like keep track of my sales and like paying sales tax and all that. But I've never been
sales
a big
tax
retail.
Is a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
and I freaking hate sales tax because they make it the most difficult thing to pay ever.
But I didn't know any of this, guys. Like I didn't know, like if you sell product, like you have to have like a sales resale certificate number and like all of that stuff.
And if you don't have it, they will come for you.
Yeah. So that's another important thing to remember. I'm just still stuck on having a separate bank account because I think that's like super important, especially when you're first starting out. I think it can be, and it can be intimidating, like starting an LLC and all of that. So even if you're not, like if you're a sole proprietor, just like kind of working under your social security number, or even if you're working for a salon, but you have some of your own expenses, like maybe you like certain color brushes or whatever the case is. I think it is really important to kind of have that. Yeah, it just makes it easier because I think that's one of the things we dread about tax season. Like I dread for tax season more so just because I'm like, I don't want to pay taxes, not because I'm not prepared, which it used to be the other way. Like it used to be like, I'm dreading tax season because I'm going to have to sit down for hours and figure out what are my expenses, what were my income, all of that kind of stuff.
And QuickBooks also has a way for you to track all of your expenses and things like that. Like your receipts.
Even your receipts.
I was showing Destiny that you can take pictures of your receipts and save them. And
which I still haven't done. I still have everything in a pile for the year and I need to because I was just like putting it in a notebook, like a binder, and I had it organized by month. But I need to take pictures. Well, they fade.
That's why it makes me nervous.
They fade even by the time I get it out of my wallet. And so kind of like just recapping, you want to start your business. You need to figure out how you want that business to run. We always recommend consulting with a professional, telling them about your business goals so that you know like what is the best for your business, setting that up. Once you set that up, you'll be able to get your bank account. So if you do decide to do an LLC, you'll get your EIN number, which is basically your business's social security number. So you can set up your business accounts. Look at me.
I'm so proud of her.
You'll be able to set up your business bank account so that you can go ahead and start using that for not only your expenses, but to deposit your income into those bank accounts. And then I think that's when you need to go ahead and set up your Square or whatever that thing is, because that you're going to have to provide your bank account.
Yeah, they want all that.
Yeah. So like she said, she uses Square for booking and then Stripe for processing. I personally use Square for everything.
I use Stripe for processing and booking. For booking, I use Calendly, which is my booking app, but they take payment via Stripe.
There's so many different options out there for what you want.
And that's not the only two. There's so many.
I know a lot of people use like Gloss Genius.
Yeah.
And they even have like each system is going to provide you with different resources that are going to be good for your business. So I like Square because it'll send my clients out a text like the week before and a day before to confirm their appointments. Square even has an option for like online booking. I don't utilize that. So you can customize each system to, whatever you're looking for. Each system is going to have like different processing fees or different like payments. Like Square now makes you pay, unfortunately. It used to be like pretty much completely free. Now you have to pay for crap, of course. But there's different things that you can pay for, whether you want email marketing or texting back and forth with them. So that's a great option to use as well. So then you can set up however you're going to do your appointments, however you are going to process your payments, because I don't think you should just be using like Venmo and all of that
Venmo,
stuff.
Cash App will hold your money too.
Oh, don't ever use
They took my
Cash
money.
App owes me like $500 and I've never been able to get it from them.
So I feel like if you're a professional, it sucks to set up like a business account with Venmo.
I'm not going to lie to you. I hate when I go somewhere like a professional place and they're like, you have to Venmo me. And I'm like,
it's sketchy.
But what if I don't have Venmo or like I don't have Cash App? Like most people
Apple
have a card.
There's all
and
these
it
things.
sucks. Yes, it sucks that you have to pay for a processing fee, but that's part of owning a business.
And it's
also,
a write-off.
It's a write-off. That's what drives me crazy when people are like, oh, do you charge for a processing fee? I'm like, no, because it literally is a write-off. I'm not going to inconvenience my clients because they want to pay me for my service. Like it's just
you should build that
part
into
of
your pricing.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So get your system set in place and then make sure you are properly keeping track of all of your expenses through QuickBooks or whatever you want to use.
Yes. We are in no way, shape, or form tax professionals. I just have my business degree and Destiny has her real world experience. And we're just here to help you guys.
My street creds.
Yes. We are just here to help you guys. So with that being said, definitely consult your tax professionals, your CPA, anything like that. This is just something that we do so that we have everything together to bring to those people. But outside of that, if you are still struggling and you don't know what to do, we have something called the books for you. And it's going to help you really get clear on all of the resources you need. And you can find all of that in our Instagram DMs. So all you're going to do is send your email to us on Instagram and comment the books.
At blended_podcast.
Yep. And we are here to help you.
Yeah. So I have this like reoccurring like nightmare that I'm going to be at my son's soccer game and the IRS is going to like speed up in their black Escalade and like come out in their like men in black suits with their sunglasses and be like,
Destiny Works, you are under arrest for tax evasion.
And it scares me so bad. Like, I've never like purposely done anything illegal or like hid stuff, but it's just like, oh my God, like you got to get everything in order. I love that.
Hi, I'm Sierra and I have the book smarts.
And I'm Destiny and I've got the
street creds.
Thank you for listening to this episode. We wish you the best of luck with all of your tax season stressors.
Yeah. Any questions you have, you can always reach out to us at blended_podcast. We're here to support you. And if we don't have the answers, we will definitely give you the resources and lead you to someone who can answer those questions for you.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being our blended babes, aka BBs. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. If you're ready for a revolution, don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening and follow the journey on Instagram at blended_podcast. Share this episode with your BB who is ready to beautify the beauty industry and rewrite the standards. Get all the tea from this episode and more in the show notes. Bye.